All right, well, welcome back. We've moved inside now under the tent. It started raining a little heavier on us, so we decided to come inside as they're eating popcorn. Scott, look at that. They haven't offered us any popcorn.
No, they haven't.
So it is a little wet this morning. Anderson University Homecoming Webcast 2015 from the AU Homecoming here at Anderson University. And we're at the street fair this morning. We're in front of Dunn Hall, that's where we set up every year. This is the 6th year for the webcast. And joining us right now, Dr. Scott Kennedy. Dr. Scott Kennedy, a professor of chemistry, currently working in California. That's a good place to be on a cold, wet, rainy morning here.
It is a nice
Anderson,
place.
Indiana.
Yeah, I haven't seen rain like this since I left Indiana.
California would love to have some of this rain.
Yes, actually, we're in a very bad drought.
Yeah. But Scott is currently working in California with Google X. He has served at AU since 2005 in the School of Science and Engineering. And so, Dr. Kennedy, tell us more about your work in California from here at Anderson University now in California and Google X. Tell us about that and the connection there for you.
Sure. So it's just one of those things that's a pretty amazing story. A couple years ago, there was an American Chemical Society meeting in Indianapolis, and I ran into an old friend of mine who happened to be pulled away from his job and to work on some pretty cool research at Google X. And at the time, he couldn't even tell me what it was, but he said, "Hey, we're working on some pretty neat projects. It looks like you've got some cool things going here at Anderson. Why don't you come and do a sabbatical with me?" So, what a great opportunity! Couldn't turn that down, so I went out there and started working. And while I was out there, they actually announced publicly what the project was. It's a contact lens that has embedded electronics that senses glucose, so that possibly people could wear these instead of pricking their fingers, and it could be an important, new tool for diabetes management. And so I got out there and realized, wow, this is amazing work. And there were some other things that they were developing as well, and some of those I can't talk about, but these
top secret
smart contact lenses have been announced now. And so I'm on that team, and they did some good work while I was there for the summer, and they asked me if I was interested in staying on. And we had just started the engineering program, so it was a tough decision. But how do you say no to Google?
To Google
and Google X especially, and Google Life Sciences. And so, I called back to AU, said, "Hey, this is an amazing opportunity. What is there some way I could have a leave of absence and pursue this for a little bit longer?" And they were very, very gracious and to give me that opportunity. And Google's been amazing too in terms of allowing me to still spend some time. I could say FaceTime. That's probably a more common video conferencing tool that people are familiar with, or Skype.
Yeah,
so FaceTime or Skype, but actually Google has Hangouts, and so
Google Hangouts.
I do.
You
got to
give them
Hangouts.
a plug, right?
Exactly. So I join in through a video conference. We try to use Hangouts since I'm at Google. So, but yeah, I come in and join in with a class from time to time. And this semester I'm helping out by interacting with students in a thermodynamics class. And, so we're trying to keep that going. And Google's been great about allowing me a little time in the day to join classes and still be involved in the education of students here at AU.
And what a great connection for Anderson University to have you as the connection with Google and Google X.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and,
it's been exciting.
And I'm sure that they're taking advantage of that. And if you do come back someday, maybe,
yeah,
you'll bring some of this back with you.
Absolutely. It's fantastic. And that I still believe that day is going to come. Google's an amazing place to work, but deep down, I think I still miss teaching, and I see myself retiring from being a professor, not retiring from being Google. And I'm only 40, so retirement is still a long way away. I'm not exactly sure when that might be, and so I'm very excited to kind of see this project through at Google and see how that how that plays out.
Again, Dr. Scott Kennedy joining us this morning on the Anderson University Homecoming Webcast 2015. And Dr. Kennedy, tell us, you were at AU, came in 2005, and as you mentioned, the engineering program and this major is new, still new to Anderson University. So
Yes.
talk, even though you're not here, but tell us a little bit about the program, because you're representing them here this morning.
Sure. So a couple years ago, we just we're thinking, AU has been encouraging us to, as all faculty, to dream, what the future might hold, what kinds of opportunities we need to be able to provide to students that come to AU. And so my colleagues and I at that time, Department of Chemistry and Physics, said, let's, what would it look like if we had engineering? And is there a need for, a different type of engineering program here in the state of Indiana? And of course, Purdue is a nationally recognized, world recognized engineering program, just
Yes, it is.
an hour and a half across the state there. And so I've actually got a couple friends that are professors there, and talking to them, and what is it like to be an engineering student at Purdue? And we converse with colleagues at Valparaiso and a few other schools in the area, and we said, we think that there's room for a different type of engineering program, a different type of engineering student, different type of student that would be interested in engineering. And so we began thinking about what that might look like, and relative to a Purdue University, obviously, again, top-notch engineering program, but we kind of thought, obviously Purdue doesn't have a Christian component, a Christian element to their program, and so obviously that's something that Anderson offers and is a tightly knit part of our DNA here at Anderson. And so, we just thought, what would it look like if we created an engineering program that had a Christ-centered global vision. Another thought that we had was engineering in the United States is a lot of times focused on big ideas that might require, big resources to make reality. And that's wonderful, but 2/3 or more of the world's population doesn't have big resources the way we do. And what would it look like if we equipped engineers to not just be able to go into the United States and solve engineering problems, but how would you tackle similar types of problems for supplying clean water, for renewable energy possibilities, for just sustainable infrastructure in a world that may not have the same resources as we do here in the States. And what does engineering look like in that world with those resources? And could we develop a program that might get students thinking about that in different ways than perhaps students at a Purdue or other schools approach in their engineering programs?
And you mentioned Purdue University, and we've had a relationship with Purdue University over the years, and that's continuing now with the new P3 building, the Polytechnic building that's being built out off of Scatterfield Road that just broke ground here just in the last couple of weeks. So that excitement continues. The relationship continues with Purdue and Anderson University, so that's exciting.
Yeah.
So I'm a Ravens fan, but I'm also a Boilermaker too. So I like the Boilermakers. So
that's good.
Go
that's
Purdue.
Good. I'm actually an alum of University of Illinois myself, so I'll have to hold back on my Go Purdue statement. I'll support you as a fellow Indianan, but yeah.
So, well, Scott, it's good to have you here back in Anderson. I wish we could send some of this rain back to California for you.
That would be fabulous.
Where at in California are you located?
So
that's not a secret, is it?
No. Google headquarters in Mountain View, California.
Yeah,
it's kind of 2/3 of the way down the peninsula, south of San Francisco, closer to San Jose actually than San Francisco. But basically, it's the same commute for me to get to downtown San Francisco as it would be to get from here to downtown Indy. So it's a very similar feel there.
Not too bad.
Except there's no cornfields between my house and downtown San Francisco. It's all developed, all city. So I'm fortunate enough to live in Mountain View as well, so I can ride my bike to work every day. Like I said, it hasn't rained since April, I think. I haven't seen rain, so it would be nice.
It must be nice. We wish you had a little more rain, but the sunshine, I'm sure, is pretty nice out there, too.
It is.
Hey, Dr. Scott Kennedy again joining us. Homecoming memory, Scott, if you could share one this morning.
Yeah, so I think actually I I wasn't able to bring my family with me this weekend, but I had walked the luminary paths last night and took a picture. Whoa.
It's noon.
It's noon. It is. Sent a
12 o'clock.
picture of that. Yeah, sent a picture of that to my wife and said, "Oh man, missing you. Really missing you in this romantic moment." I think I can't put my finger on a specific year or a specific time, but just that, just standing out, drinking hot cider, hot chocolate, and walking the luminaries with old students
and donut holes
and donuts. Yeah, donut holes. So
yeah,
I think those are my favorite memories.
Very good
around that.
Dr. Scott Kennedy again, anderson.edu /SOSE. That's anderson.edu /SOSE for more information on the School of Science and Engineering. Dr. Kennedy, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good to have you here this morning. Good to have you back in Anderson.
Great. It's great to be here.
Enjoy California and Google X.
I am. Yeah.
Your favorite search engine.
Absolutely. Google.
There you go.
All right.
We'll end on that. Dr. Scott Kennedy, thanks so much, Scott. And again, we'll take a quick break here. We'll be back in just a few minutes. Anderson University Homecoming Webcast 2015. Thank you.